Patients come in and say, should I get Botox or should I get a laser? But that varies. Some females are like super strong in their forehead and they barely move here.
Yeah.
I asked them, have you had Botox before? Yes. Okay. What areas did they do? Okay, fine. What product did they use? What do you mean, what product?
All right. We're back, guys. Welcome back.
She sounds depressed.
No,
We're back.
Welcome back to the Wellness Blueprint. I'm here. I'm Sophia. If you don't remember, it's me. And
we just recorded this episode and it got deleted.
I know. So this is take 2, but we here.
Are excited.
We're here again. Giving you the tea, giving you all the stuff you need to know.
Yes, welcome back. It's another week, another episode. This week is going to be a little bit different. We're going to jump into injectables. And we're going to be talking about not only what the patients want to know, but also a lot of tips for providers. And injectables is a big part of the aesthetic industry. You know, I think lasers are very popular now, but everything started with like injectables, you know, Botox and fillers and all those things. And I know aesthetics is very big, you know, in females. Like we're always scrolling through Instagram and talking about injectables. What can I have done next?
Yeah.
But we're going to kind of shift it a little bit into what men do and if men really get injectables or not.
So we live in Miami and our clinic is in Miami. So we get a lot of patients that come in here and they want to treat themselves. But in comparison to, you know, you visiting other places, how common is it that guys are so free to talk about and get injectables? How common would you say it is right now today?
I think it has become more popular. Between social media and, you know, TV and people being so open about aesthetic treatments now. I will tell you, when I had my clinic in Tampa, I had maybe 10% of my patients were males. Here in Miami is totally different. Like I would say here 30 to 40% are males. But we know, you know, guys here, they want to look good. They want to take care of their skin. I feel in Miami, there's not that kind of taboo, like it's cool to go to aesthetic practices, right?
It's almost like fun, like, oh, like I'm going.
When are you going for your appointment?
Yeah. Can I go with you? Yeah.
Exactly. So I have a lot of male patients that come here and do get like injectables or laser treatments. I will tell you, when I was at a conference, I think this happened like maybe 8 to 10 years ago, they were saying how from the entire world, only like 20% of people were getting Botox. And I was like surprised. I was like, really? I thought everyone was getting Botox. So it's not, people think it's more popular than what it really is. I still have patients to this day that come in and they're like, I have never gotten injected. I'm scared. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to expect. So I call them the newbies. So I'm like, yay, you're a newbie. You're going to be obsessed after this treatment. But in terms of guys, I think it's becoming more popular. People are talking more about it, but some guys are very macho, where they don't want to say anything. They don't want to tell others that they're getting Botox. And I will say, not because if you see one of your male friends that looks 10 years younger, and they don't say they get wrinkle relaxers, they do. You know, they most likely do, and they have a whole skincare routine at home that they're not telling everybody. So don't feel bad if, you know, people age in different ways. So I think all of these tools are here to help us age gracefully and kind of like be a helper into how we want to look and how we want to look when we're 60, 70, 80.
Would you say that there are differences in how you inject Botox for girls and guys? Do guys request different things? Do you see like a common pattern in, you know, the things that they ask for in terms of how much or how little Botox they get?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about like the wrinkle relaxers, right?
Yeah.
So there's different types of or different brands that have wrinkle relaxers. They all have very similar things and they all have different things. So the different brands are Jeuveau, Botox. Now there's Daxi, which the company says it lasts longer if you use a higher amount of units. We have Dysport, and then we have Xeomin. They have been in the market for many years, and they all act similar but different in some sort of way. I think from those five, I think there are a few of them that act a little bit stronger in the muscle, and some of the other ones act where they do block movement, but it's in a softer level.
Hmm.
So I think the brand is important when it comes to, like, if you're treating a guy, right? If we look at muscles in males, they tend to be thicker, they tend to be bigger, and guys tend to have a stronger muscle movement. So you might need not only a stronger product, but you might need a higher amount of units. When we talk about injecting wrinkle relaxers, we inject wrinkle relaxers in the belly of the muscle. The belly of the muscle is kind of like the middle part, that chunky part of the muscle. You have to put it right there for you to have good response and a good result. So because the muscles in males are thicker, then you might need a little bit higher unit. But the other thing that can vary, and this is going to be more for the providers that are listening, is how we reconstitute our product, right? So if I have a guy that has really, really strong muscles, then I might reconstitute my product 1 to 1 to make it fully strong. You put it in there, and you might need to inject them more because it has a less spread, but it's going to really be strong in that muscle that you're
Mm.
putting in.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, I keep saying I'm Puerto Rican. I'm trying here.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, if I have, for example, if we look at the other side, if we're injecting a guy that is like, I want it, but I don't want to be completely paralyzed, then I might reconstitute it in a 2 to 1 fashion, or 2 to 1 is what I use for my females, most of my females. 2 to 1 means that you're adding a little bit more saline. The units of both is the same. The
Okay.
units, or whatever the patient's going to pay, is the same amount. It's just that the spread of how much surface area that liquid is going to grab, it's what's going to determine how strong that movement's going to look. When you, like,
So,
for example, if we talk about the forehead, if I do 2 to 1, I might have a bigger spread where I have to poke you less times, but you're still going to be able to move your eyebrow in a really nice way.
hmm.
If I do a 1 to 1, the spread is going to be smaller, so I have to poke you multiple times, right? Because it's the expansion of the liquid is going to be less,
Okay.
but it's more precise, right?
Hmm.
So I use my reconstitution different if based on what the patient is asking, and if there's a guy or a female
Hmm.
or what they want.
Yeah, and the amount of strength that their muscles have.
Right.
Yeah, so guys tend to need more of
Yes.
that power, more of that precision.
Absolutely. And that even varies in females. So if you look at females, some females are going to have a very strong forehead, but might have a frown that doesn't move a lot, or vice versa. Like, for example, if you look at my forehead, I mean, my face is full of wrinkle relaxer right now, but if you look at me when I have no product, I have not that many lines in my forehead, but I have a really strong frown. I always say I'm Hispanic.
Hmm.
My frown needs to be there so that I can be pissed off at men. So if you if you look at my
Same.
frown, it's so strong. So I get from 25 to 30 to 35 units only in my frown area. But then if you look at my forehead, I might get 6 units. But that varies. Some females are like super strong in their forehead and they barely move here.
Yeah.
So the important part of what we're explaining is for you as a provider to first ask your patients what it is that you want. Not because I like to completely be frozen means that my patients like to be completely frozen and have no movement.
Yeah.
That varies based on what job you do, right? Actors and actresses need their muscle movements and they need some sort of movement in the face to be able to portray a reaction on the person that's watching their show. So the job, it depends a lot on, does the patient want people to know that they get Botox? Because I can make you look natural, but people are gonna know that you get Botox because you're gonna have no wrinkles.
Yeah.
And it depends, price, right? How much do you want to spend into it? Because the price of Botox or any wrinkle relaxers, they're going up as we speak. Every year, the price of or the cost of it goes up. And some patients are like, listen, this is my budget. This is what I want. This is the muscle that bothers me. And then we treat that. So it's important for us as providers to actually talk to the patients so that we know what they want and they can get a good response from it.
And not just assume that
Right.
because you get Botox that you just want to be frozen.
Right.
Yeah.
Once it's in there, you can't do anything. So you have to give it 3-4 months. That's why also getting an injector that knows how to inject. We look at it as, oh, it's Botox, oh, it's Jeuveau, it's wrinkle relaxer. Everyone knows how to inject that. Not really. If you reconstitute the product in not the best way, or if you inject it in the wrong spot, it can drop your eyebrow. You can get ptosis of the upper lid. You can get signs like that you had a stroke if they inject your DAOs in a way that's not correct. So there's complications that happen with wrinkle relaxers. They're minimal, but once it's in there, you have to wait 3 to 4 months to fix it. So, or for it to go away. There's no way to fix it. So you have consider a good provider when you're getting wrinkle relaxer, especially if it's your first time.
So that reconstitution portion of what you were explaining to providers about that 2-to-1 and 1-to-1. So would you say that that would be the key, along with communication, to give patients the most natural looking results when it comes to
100%.
neurotoxins?
I think that differentiates a good provider from somebody that's either starting or they really don't know what they're doing. That's why for me trainings are so important. When we started 10 years ago, everyone would dilute it 1-to-1. That's what the company did in their studies. We had very limited information of how we could adjust the dosing and the reconstitution to be able to get better results. And then now you see like all this, doctors like that they give training, so they do cadaver labs, or uh, Kotofana, who does like a really good cadaver lab, and he points out where you should inject. Like I went to a training, it was Dr. Swift with Kotofana, and it was like outstanding. Like they not only injected on patients, but they were actually showing you the muscle, showing you in an actual like cadaver how it looked, where you should inject, if you injected here versus injecting here, what it would do to the muscles that are besides that main muscle you're trying to treat. So investing as a provider in those things is important because you're going to change the way you inject and the way that you reconstitute your product, or the way that you actually point the bevel of the syringe or the needle to get better results. I think now, where the whole face can be injected, as the time has passed, we now inject the full face, when before it was only 3 areas. Okay, your forehead, your frown, and your eyes, that's it. Now we inject the whole face, the jawline, the neck, so many areas that we didn't before, the hands. So for that, I think as a provider, first, it's important for our patients for us to spend money actually, investing in how we're going to give them better results, but also for our results as providers. Like I love when a patient is like, no, I loved it the last time. Like I want exactly the same thing. Like my friends, they noticed something was different, but they didn't really know what. And they still said, you look like so refreshed. So those are things we have to kind of consider as providers, and the patients. Don't go to a provider that had a training 7 years ago and has never been to one training since. In 7 years, medicine changes so much. You have to really appreciate a provider that invests their money and their time into training to be better. And as patients, sometimes patients say, this Botox or Jeuveau or all these wrinkle relaxers, they get more expensive as time goes by. But consider the cost of, not only the product, which is going up every year, but also the cost of us going to trainings to give you better results. And, all of those things you have to account in what it is the cost of the treatment that we're
Yeah.
giving you.
So it's definitely like anyone can inject, but like we've said in lasers and our other episodes, like it's the treatment is only halfway. You need to also pair that with the provider
Absolutely.
because I mean, if you wanted to, I mean, you could literally inject yourself, but obviously you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And like that's just that's what we want you to think about. Like it's not just, oh, I want to get the cheapest treatment possible. Well,
Yeah.
okay, well then there's no guarantee in that treatment also providing you with great results because that you don't know if
Yeah.
that provider has the qualifications at least to give you the best results as possible
Absolutely.
because results are results, but are they the best results? I don't
Not
know.
always.
Why not always? So
Yeah.
that's why you need to always you need to on TikTok they're like you need to get on your Zoom, you need to get on your notes, get
Yes.
on everything.
And the
Yeah.
other thing that I tell patients to do, which not, when the patient comes in for the first time, they tell me for the first time, I ask them, have you had Botox before? Yes. Okay. What areas did they do? Okay, fine. What product did they use? What do you mean, what product? And I'm like,
There's like
well,
different types of there's
there's four
different
brands.
yes.
Ask the provider to show you the bottle. Sometimes what happens here in Miami, which when I moved, it blew my mind. I was like, I can't believe people do this here. So providers are reconstituting the products with more saline and applying less units to the patient to make the cost cheaper. So that's one of the kind of a warning signs of what happens.
But so how does can they know?
A patient cannot know because ultimately you don't know how much the provider is putting in the bottle.
Yeah.
But what I tell patients is based on your results and ask them for you to see the bottle, like see the actual bottle. Make sure that they're using an FDA brand and that they're using a product that is authorized in the US, which is only five. There's nothing outside of those five products that you can use here as a provider. What's happening now, there's a black market in injectables where people are bringing or providers are bringing products from China, which are cheaper in terms of cost. They can charge less money to the patient, but how do you even know what's in the bottle? Like if it's from China, you're looking at this product. An example is
Yeah.
Botulax. Botulax is a kind of Botox that's not FDA approved and it's not regulated here in the US and it comes from overseas. How do you even know that product is good for your skin? What's going to happen in 10 years when they're injecting this now? How do the product is not even, it's not even regulated because the amount of toxin that's in there, it can't be regulated by the FDA. And people are going into a clinic paying $150 to get their full face, and they don't even know if they're injecting the actual true brand of either Botox, Jeuveau, Xeomin, Daxi, or
Hmm.
Dysport.
That's insane.
So it's crazy to me. I think as a patient and as a customer, always ask your provider, I want to see it. Let me see the bottle. A patient that asks me that, I had one patient that did that once here at GLANZ, and I wanted to hug her. I swear to God. I was like, I was going to start, oh my God, this is
Yes.
amazing. You know what? You're
Absolutely.
brilliant.
See the bottle. Like it's
Yeah.
right here. Please
Yeah.
see it.
There
Yes.
you go. Because not patients don't do that, and you don't even know what they're putting in your face.
Because like we've talked about before, how guys tend to have bigger and stronger muscles and they need more precision and more strength in taking care of areas that they want to inject and relax the wrinkles. Is there a difference in age in which they start as well, or across the board for guys and girls? Do you recommend a certain age where they start preventing?
I think age, it doesn't apply to if you're a female or a male. I
Mm-hmm.
think if you are thinking of getting, a wrinkle relaxer because you want to start getting into, aesthetics and beauty, then I think for wrinkle relaxers, it's great to start when you're around 28. Um, It's like I always say, there's not one solution for everything.
Yeah.
Patients come in and say, should I get Botox or should I get a laser? I mean, I can't tell you. So when we look at a face as a provider, we're going to see prevention, what we have to fix or what wrinkles you already have, how your skin texture is. So I have my prevention and muscle therapy with wrinkle relaxers. I have volume changes, which is filler.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have skin quality. So the skin quality is going to be more lasers, IPL. Is there pigmentation from melasma or is there sun damage? So all of those things collide into giving you the best results. I tell patients if you're young, you're 28, you can start with wrinkle relaxer and a good skincare plan. You start like that for a few years, then come back, get maybe an IPL laser to kind of like stimulate a little bit of collagen, but also take away the sun damage because we live in Florida. Then, as you keep getting older, you are going to require an ablative laser, which is stronger, and that's stimulating elastin and collagen. I don't think if you're 25 or 22, you really need a CO2 laser. So it's kind of like we're not here to sell you. We're here to guide you in your skincare
Mm-hmm.
journey and your anti aging journey. Same thing if you start wrinkle relaxers when you're 28, you might not need it every 3 months, maybe do it every 5 months. And then that way you come in maybe 3 times throughout the year. You are preventing those wrinkles for when you're 60. And patients that do that, when I see them when they're 40, you can definitely tell. You see them and you're like, you barely have lines. We can do a CO2 laser, and this CO2 laser is going to last you 2 to 3 years because you have taken care of your
Yeah.
skin in the last 10 years. So now, if you haven't, then it's fine. We have ways to fix it. But if you are thinking of when should you start, I think 27, 28 is a good time to
Mm-hmm.
start wrinkle relaxers.
And I think when we're tackling the general idea of aging, wrinkles is only a part of that. If your skin, let's say you have really smooth skin, but you have a lot of sun damage and just overall, you can see like over time as you've not taken care of your skin, all those spots coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are still going to look that age. Like it's only half the battle. So when we talk about how we want to curate a treatment plan for you and guide you and not just sell you on absolutely everything, everything has to be combined. Like there's
Right.
not a one-stop solution for everything. It just depends on the state of your skin and like what goals you want to achieve at this moment.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's why, for example, we have at GLANZ, we have our membership program. So if you look at
Mm-hmm.
what the membership entails, you can pick between either a facial, which
Yeah.
is maintenance. You can pick between microneedling, which is resurfacing. You can pick chemical peels, which is more of resurfacing, but on a lower
Mm-hmm.
level. Um, what else? I mean, you can use multiple things, but you still get discounts on the rest, right?
Yeah.
So based on your age and what it is you want to do, then you can kind of dive in slowly on fixing those problems that you have, but also be preventative for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Prevention is key.
Consistency is key too.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you get Botox like 2 or 3 years, but then you're just like, oh, I don't feel like I need it anymore. Like, well, if you want to
Yeah,
stay consistent, if you want to, make sure that your lines stay as minimal as possible, you need to continue to feed that, maybe in smaller doses, but that can always be adjusted. But
yeah,
continuously keeping up with that because
absolutely.
you can't get stuff done when you're 20 and then you're like, oh well, I'm set.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
be 20 forever.
Well, it's like exercising.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I,
Yeah.
I asked my trainer back like 4 years ago, I get annoyed with exercise because I can be exercising for 2 years and then I stop for six
Yeah,
months and I come back and I feel like I want to die.
I know. Yeah.
But everything is like that. Everything is consistency and just keeping up with what it is, what your plan is, so that you can have good results for the
Hmm.
future. Unfortunately, that's life. You can't change it.
What would
Um,
you say? What would you say is a piece of advice to give to people that are insecure about getting injectables, even though that's what they want to do, but they just don't feel as confident, like saying it to people. Oh yeah, I've
yeah.
had this done, this done, this done.
Um, I think so. For that happens a lot with men. Men don't tend to share. I get Botox. I do this.
Hmm.
So I think if you, like I said earlier, if you see somebody that looks 10 years younger, even if they're not saying what they had done, most likely they get stuff done. Even if it's Botox. When you come in as a guy, I will ask you what it is you want to accomplish. I don't have to take your entire wrinkles away. I don't have to leave you completely frozen so that other people might know that you get stuff done. We do it in a way that it looks natural, it's very preventative, and it, just start diving a little bit of your feet in the water, because you might come in and I might say, you know what, you might need Botox here, but not on the eyes. So let's just start with one area and let's put you on a good skincare regimen. Even skincare regimens, when you compare guys and girls, I don't give them the same. Guys, my skincare regimen has 10 steps. A guy will never do that. They will
Yeah.
be like, no, I don't have I
They're
don't
like,
have
I
time.
just want cleanse. They'll clean their face and be like,
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
Exactly. I
good.
mean, they clean their face with their soap,
I know.
so it's like, I mean, for me, that is like, oh my God.
That's a huge
But
red
that's how
flag.
they do it. So I actually ask patients, I ask guys, do you have a cleanser? And they're like, well, yeah, my soap. So I might just start with one cream. Okay, fine. Keep using the soap, but then at least apply this moisturizer. We have some moisturizers in the office that combine vitamin C, hyaluronic acid,
Mm,
all in one to make it easy for men. But I will never make you feel like, okay, you need to do this because this is what we do for everybody.
yeah.
Everyone goes through their journey differently, and I will recommend based on what I see you want. That's the first thing. The second thing is, we're not here to talk about injectables and lasers and, shame anybody that doesn't get aesthetics. I think aesthetics has been a portal for us to take care of our skin more, right? Because I remember my mom didn't even wear moisturizer for most of her life. Even SPF.
Yeah.
She would put SPF on me when I went to the beach, but not every day. Like, okay, use your SPF. You have to do this. She wasn't like that. It wasn't the culture. So I think aesthetics has been a door to talk more about prevention and how we can fix our skin, which is health. But at the same time, if you are somebody that, I'm not into aesthetics, I don't really want to get injectables or lasers, I just want a skincare program, that's good too.
Yeah.
Don't like people that judge or shame people that do get a lot of aesthetics or vice versa. I think
Hmm.
that is very independent, and that is
It's
based,
personal.
it's very personal. It is, a lot of it is how you feel about yourself and what you want to improve. That's why you can come into the clinic and it's not only going to be, okay, let's do this, but part of my job is talking to you, like, what is it that you want to improve? When you look in the mirror, how do you feel? A lot of it is our self-esteem and what we feel about ourselves when we actually look in the mirror. And that's going to vary a lot from me to even you at your age, right?
Hmm.
So never, as a guy, never feel you're gonna come in and we're gonna, bombard you with seven different things. That's not my style.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more of a normal conversation. We post a lot on social media, but if our patients want to be private, we know that we will not post you, we will not talk about you to anybody, and it'll be very, very secret. Your secret's safe with us.
Yeah. So, to wrap up this episode, I wanted to ask, what was today's motivational quote of the day?
Yes. Okay. This is my favorite part of the
Yeah.
entire episode. Okay, so for today, the quote is, sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together. I think I saw this yesterday on my phone, and I think we tend to look at failures in life or challenges or people leaving our lives, whether it's friends or a breakup. We look at it as a setback or kind of like something bad that's happening, where we have to see life as a way where if this thing is happening, God has a plan and your purpose, you're going to see it eventually. So we have to change our mindset into thinking that a failure or a challenge or a breakup or heartbreak, whether it is family members or friends, it's not something negative in our lives. And I think once we change our mindset to that, we're gonna live a lot happier.
Yeah.
If I look at failures of things that happened to me 10 years ago and I see where I am now, I have created this spirit of, perseverance and being, working harder and trying to see, no, voy a pasar de nuevo. If I look at the failures or challenges that I've had in the last 10 years and I see where I am now, I can see how that shaped me to the person that I am today. Even with my friends, like the people that are in my life now are the people that I want in my life, that have my back and have my corner, and they're there cheering me up without any competition or being envious of what good things are happening in my life. And maybe back then I was sad when I lost friends or I lost relationships that were there, and I'm like, why? Oh my God.
Yeah.
But what I have now is like the people around me are so much better, and they love me for me, and whether we talk on the phone every day or not, it doesn't matter. They're there for me and they're there to support me. So it's just letting go of what we think we're losing right at this moment and thinking of the amazing things we're gonna have at the end.
Absolutely. And with all the things we go through in life, it just makes us more resilient and more wise. And I don't think we should take that for granted. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the YouTube chat box down below, the comment section. And yeah, we're looking forward to the next episode.
Thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to us. We've had a few episodes, so we appreciate if you're here learning and listening to us.
All the love, all the comments. Thank you.
Yes. We'll see you in a week.
All right. See you guys.